Hello, hello, Speed Gaming, and welcome to another Link to the Past qualifier for SG Live. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Proa 007. How you doing, Proa?
The 11th qualifier to determine who will be participating in the big money event in November, or to help get us closer to that at any rate.
Yep, and we are running out of qualifiers, so we do have some interesting. We have a couple people in their first qualifiers. I know Solsky's in his first qualifier. He's in the bottom right there, and I believe you said Kern was the other one in their first qualifier, in his first qualifier.
Yes, yeah, correct. Both of them making their debuts. GFE 12 and Penny Royal Oil on the top row here. This is their fourth qualifiers each.
Nice.
Both have acquitted themselves nicely. Both have had a pair of top 10 finishes in their races, so they're looking to be in pretty good shape because they get five races, and they've both done quite well.
Yeah, so they'll want to continue to do well because you do get to drop one low score, but you don't get to drop two, and of course your top score gets dropped as well. Solsky was interesting in the race room earlier, was asking what the mode was. So we're interested to see how he says. He got all sorts of different answers, none of which were the correct answers. We'll see if he figures it out once we start the race.
Definitely looking forward to this race. This should be a very good one. You get early boots, so that should liven things up.
Everybody's starting at Link's house, but Solsky going ahead and resetting to Sanctuary. Everybody else going to go ahead and do the Uncle check. And just a key at Sank, so nothing. I mean, that key, is useful if you want to go all the way through, but nothing really useful there. Oh, and we have GFE doing the Saha, early Saha. I haven't seen this quite a bit in this early boots mode.
It makes sense because that's a quick 3 items. Plus, you get some intel off of Sahasrara if you so choose.
And a mushroom there. Could mean something.
So a fetch quest item off of that. Penny Royal and Kern both doing the uncle checks. It looks like Kern picking up some rupees.
And GFE going to go ahead and turn in that mushroom right away.
It makes sense. It's right there, and it's a pretty easy check. And given that the mushroom did show up early, you might as well get your mileage out of it. Looks like Solsky is heading for Lost Woods.
And just a single rupee at Bonk Rocks. I believe Solsky already checked that. I don't think we've seen Lumberjack yet, which is kind of in an interesting location. We've seen a few races with important items at the Lumberjack. A lot of times you'll see runners will hold off on checking that until they have boots. Well, here they have boots, so a lot of them will probably check it a lot earlier.
A map check on Penny Royal's screen saw a crystal at Eastern, I believe a green pendant at Tower of Hera, and a blue pendant in Deserts. So,
did we find gloves at the mushroom site? Because I'm seeing GFE is doing back of escape.
Yeah, looks like it. So drug deals pay off in this city. Who knew?
And interesting, Penny Royal going straight into Eastern with absolutely nothing.
Luckily, you don't need anything to get through most of this dungeon.
Yeah, even the dark room isn't too bad. Obviously, you can't get to the back of the dungeon because no bow, but
right. He
can get to the rest of it. The dark room a little bit trickier without some sort of weapon to see by, but you do have the dust from the running. And actually, it's if you're going to do a dark room without anything to see by, that's the one to do. It's actually not too bad.
It's fairly rote as far as that's concerned. Solsky gets some money in the well. 2 items already for Pennyroyal and Eastern, both of them $20.
Yeah, not seeing a whole lot in CAC so far. The half magic is certainly a nice luxury item.
And 500 rupees, so a Scamfish pretty close to, well, a vanilla bottle off the bottle vendor.
Well, that could lead to something, or we'll see. Well, yeah, with the boots and the ability to do a water walk, Zor and plenty of money, you might see these runners check that a lot earlier. And that bottle is just turned into a piece of heart, so still not a whole lot going on in Kakariko. And bombs in the back of the tavern. So Kakariko really, it's rare that you get a seed where you could probably just skip the entire area, and I think this is one of those seeds. Of course, the odds of that happening are so low that you just don't chance it. But a hook shot in the library, so that we definitely want to get. Now, see, that's what I want. I don't want starting boots. I want starting hook shot. That's my favorite item. And it looks like nothing in Eastern for Pennyroyal, so that's a bit of a time sink. And he will have to go back in there later because it is a crystal dungeon.
The double dip is not something you like to see, but you know, it is one of those early gambles, and you know, it's just one of those things you just kind of have to run with.
Well, it looks like he's going to turn in that mushroom, so he should get that glove. Solska, meanwhile, heading over towards the South Shore area.
Solsky heading now towards the southeast part of Hyrule.
Solsky, you missed the clip. Just go flood the flame. I don't understand that. Like you're not saving time by going back out and trying to do the clip again. Just go ahead and flood the room and then come back in.
Take 2 worked out this time,
yep.
So there is that. So,
but just 10 arrows, so not gonna pick that up. Now, hookshot will make the mini Moldorm cave super easy though, so that's nice. Won't have to rely on bombs.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's certainly doable, but you know, you miss a couple in a row, you start to think, uh-oh.
Oh, for sure. And Kern here going to do the blind check of the race game. Looks like he's going to go ahead and pick up the $50 since, you know, that's not a bad payout, but, you know, certainly if he had checked it first, he probably doesn't go after it.
Moon Pearl and Mini Moldorm caves, so getting closer to that Dark World access.
Yeah, we just need one more item. We need a hammer or a second glove. So far, not looking like an Agaseed. Since we haven't seen no sign of swords, nor cape, nor lamp.
Right. When Solsky gets the glove, technically, I suppose it's out of logic. You can do the dark going through Death Mountain, but yeah, we're still missing some stuff.
Yeah, the lamp or the flute would put the mountain in logic. That's one of the most common sequence breaks, is to just go ahead and get that mountain access, especially with that early hook shot that lets you clear the east side of it.
So Kern also is following in Solsky's footsteps. Pennyroyal, Sans hook shot is going for the southeastern run.
And here's that water walk we were talking about. So Solsky was able to arm it using the side over an Ice Rod Cave, and now is going to be able to get 3 of the items here. He'll be able to get the items in the Fairy Cave, Waterfall Fairy Cave, and we'll at least be able to see the Zora Ledge. I don't think he's got enough for a splash deletion to use to get the item there, so hopefully it's nothing important. And he throws the bottle and gets a B, but does get a nice change of clothes, although you can't really tell on his eggplant.
I was
Solsky.
500. There is 522 rupees, so can play the Zora game.
Yeah, I still think you do this if you don't have the money. Oh, and that's a flute on the ledge.
Well then. Yeah, that.
This is where you hope for those
changes.
vanilla flippers. Solsky not knowing that this is essentially in logic because that mushroom is available to get those gloves, and it's just a piece of heart from Zora. Or at least that the Zora play is in logic. Of course, the flute is not in logic until we actually get flippers. Curran going for a different tactic and go ahead and sequence break the hobo. I kind of like this just because it's such a hard, the idea that all these flipper checks go together. I don't agree that hobo check seems super isolated from all the others. On the other hand, he could do the Zora and get 4 items checked. Just a piece of art for his troubles.
Vanilla. So, no, it's not vanilla, but yeah.
Yeah, hobo normally carries a bottle.
Mushroom was in Sahasrala's closet, which leads to the power gloves in the drug deal.
And always the bad feeling when you talk to Saha to find out the green pendant, and it's one of the Light World dungeons that you should have just seen from a map check.
Yeah.
Olski.
It's his first qualifier. It's still kind of shaking the rust off.
Yeah, I suppose. Sorry, I got to give Sophie a little bit of a hard time.
I don't know how valid that excuse is, but could use it. So, right now, all our players are basically circling each other as far as their routing. The one thing we have not seen is Hyrule. We've not seen a Hyrule Castle play yet.
No, we have not.
Nor have we seen Agina.
Yeah, Agina, probably not going to get to that anytime soon. It's such an isolated check. Hyrule Castle, it'll be interesting to see if the runners go there before they go to the mountain. Could be just that Hyrule Castle has a lamp to put that mountain in logic, or it could be the flippers to get the flute to put the mountain in logic.
It's certainly possible. Titan's Myths would also be an interesting one, just because that opens up, a Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, the Myths or the Hammer would give us Dark World access and open up a whole bunch of stuff.
Kern taking a bit of a dip there. Mini Moldorm. Oh no, never mind. Carrying on. Solsky is in Eastern.
Yeah, I know Solsky in general likes the early Eastern play. Sometimes he'll do the start with the going straight over to Saha and the Eastern play. Not this time though. It'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to sequence break that flute too. It is possible to get. You can't. Like I said, I don't think they have the items for the Ancilla splash deletion, but you can if you arm a water walk, but then fake flipper properly. You can get the item there. It's a bit of a time sink though, so I'm not sure if anybody's going to go for it right now. The flute gives us nice access to things, but doesn't actually open anything up until they have mitts and go into the Myra area. I mean, technically open it. Yeah, see, and looks like that is exactly what Kern did. He did go ahead and get that flute.
Oh.
I didn't.
That is
yeah.
big.
Yeah, that'll be that'll give him easy access now. That doesn't actually put them out in logic because we didn't use logic to get the flute in the first place.
Right. It's more of a transportation thing at this point.
Yep.
Looks
like Penny Royal also managed to get that set up.
So looks like GFE is gonna go for Death Mountain here. That's interesting.
So yeah, to just kind of describe how that works, what you want to do, and we've seen it now, but from two of the runners, what you want to do, as Solsky goes to the uncle. We've seen this, we just haven't seen the castle, so he'll probably go to the castle next. The others who haven't gone to the uncle with no weapons. Basically, what you want to do is store the water walk, either in the Ice Rock Cave or the Mini Moldorm Cave, And then you want a fake flipper, and you need to first try that fake flipper. And then when you go to the the waterfall ferry location, you get the water walk from the waterfall ferry. So you'll have a water walk from that, and you'll still have the stored one, so that when you jump off the Zora area, you will be able to get that new water walk, the stored one, and be able to make that work for you. Oh, is that an ice rod there on the desert ledge? And we saw a sword on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, so there are some big progression items, but just tantalizingly out of reach right now.
Yeah.
And Solsky and Kern are actually doing the two things that will give us some intelligence as far as what's next.
Yeah, that ice rod, a nice red mail, nice luxury item. Did he get a sword there?
Yes, he did, and red mail in Agena.
So the sword, good item, actually a great item, especially this early. Need to get at least 2 of them, of course. I'm just thinking the sword sitting there on Spectacle Rock Cave, a little more important, just because the runners that haven't gone to Hyrule Castle don't have weapons. The ice rod, don't think the runners are too worried about it. That's one of those things, as long as you know where it is, you don't have to think about it much, because they're going to get either a book to do desert or to get that item, or they're going to get flute plus mitts, and we all know where the flute is right now. So, and a good chance Meyer is going to be a crystal anyway.
There's the flippers in
Mini Moldor. Oh, Hyrule Castle.
Yeah. Oh. Nice find there for Solsky. That puts flute back in logic.
Yes, it does.
So it looks like GFE is actually on the right path as far as progression. He's got the Cane of Samaria, picked up the Magic Cape and the lamp. So Paradox Cave is pulling all the big stuff here. And what was that? Is that a mirror?
And of course, one of the things the runners will be able to tell. So seeing that lamp sitting there on East Death Mountain, that tells the runners that the flippers have to be available before going through that dark room. Because you have to have some sort of access up here, and it either is a glove plus lamp or flute. And we know the flute's behind the flippers, so the flippers have to be available since the lamp is up here.
So, Magic Powder was at the end of Spiral Cave, so a nice little find there for GFE 12. I always like getting Powder early. It's great for some of those Dark World dungeons.
Yeah, Powder is my favorite, what I call luxury item. It's very rarely needed because you have just the one location, but certainly very useful throughout the run.
There's a bug catching net in on the floating island. So
yeah, we're not getting that.
so based on all of this intelligence we've gathered, we still don't have Dark World access, do we?
No, we don't. We still need a glove or a hammer somewhere to get our Dark World access.
The Magic Cape suggests that this is in fact Aghanim required.
We now have, in fact, Kern has a cape and a lamp, and if he goes to Hyrule Castle, he will get a sword, and that would put Aga in logic. And as much as this was not looking like an Agaseed, it's starting to look like an Agaseed.
GFE is also checking the back of is doing the back of Escape, gonna check Dark Cross room. So last chance.
I'm trying to think if there's anything left in or out of logic at this point. I think we've seen just about everything.
I think so too. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. I think we're down to Aga.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting the way the seed is turning out so far, considering it for all the world did not look like this was going to be an Agaseed, and yet here we are.
It is, and it is interesting that it turned out that way. But we've got some good movement items and some good stuff for down the road. But yeah, this seed is not biting. Solsky is finally going to get his glove.
Yeah, he might have been trying to wait on that a little bit, just in case he could do the fake powder in the Dark World. Unfortunately, with that glove, you just can't save that mushroom. So also going to see that ice rod. Also going to note, this is not the nicest set of items for an Agaseed. You like to have. It's nice to have a bow or a fire rod or, something more than a fighter sword. So this is going to be not going to be a very fast way through Agatara once the runners conclude that is the next play.
Cane of Samaria helps a little bit, but that's more of a defensive item, really. So GFE, I think, has everything, has accounted for everything. So GFE will be the first to Aga, it looks like.
Yep, and he's headed there right now. Oh yeah, and 5 hearts, but red mail. Oh, using bee, I like this. He's letting the bee do some of the work. It's a really smart thing to do. The bee doesn't do that much, but it's going to make it just a little bit easier. But yeah, you can see those ball and chain guards. 8 swipes with the fighter sword. Not fun, and no other good weapons to work with. And Kern about to get the bad news. I'm pretty certain he's done just about everything.
Kern's got everything except the gloves, but yeah.
So he hasn't been to the eastern area.
Oh.
And he's going to go all the way to the back because he doesn't have those gloves. Which, isn't that much slower than, which is, actually probably about the same as if you were to have the gloves right now, save and quit and start from Sanctuary, so. Especially with those boots.
GFE on the 4th floor. Penny Royal making the swing towards Hyrule Castle now.
Solsky's in the dark.
So many ways. GFE got to be okay. Gets a nice hard pick up there. It was down to 1 actually, but and gets 2 off the red guards. So even with red mail, you still don't want to be getting into dog fights here.
No, 1.5 hearts is not exactly comfortable. He can pick up 2 pot hearts here if he wants to.
Yeah, he probably might just pick up 1 just to.
Yeah, that one's a little more on the way. The other one's kind of way over to the left-hand side of the room, so I don't blame him for not wanting to pick it up. Once you get past that room, the rest of it's pretty safe. In fact, the one he just went through, I like to call that the stupid room because you have 3 really difficult enemies that you can just walk right past.
Yeah. It's like you were a kid and you think, oh, I gotta fight all these guys.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you really don't actually.
Nope, not at all. Just walk away. And if you know what you're doing on the Aga fight, you're not going to take any damage. And all these runners are accomplished runners. They all know what they're doing.
So how many blue balls do you think we're going to get today?
No, probably too many.
Too many.
I see a few guesses in chat.
I'll say 4.
So for those that don't know, this is going to be the same for every runner. There's 1 already. Pennyworld going to make use of the Death Warp. Go to Dark Cross.
playing nice here in round 1.
He was taking damage again on that was kind of weird looking, the way he was taking damage there. Down to half a heart for the Dark Cross area. He should be fine with the lamp, and we'll be able to see everything, but I guess he's just setting up for that next Death Warp there instead of trying to do it with the snakes. But it is a little bit dangerous because one hit from one of those snakes and he doesn't get to see the item. Okay, he gets it, and now going to run into something. Yeah, there you go.
So five blue balls so far from Aghanim.
Meanwhile, Kern using the Cane of Samaria, like you suggested, on the ball and chain guards in the first room, and switching to bombs.
Pickaxe was correct. It was 5.
Like I said, too many.
Yeah.
Pennyworld going to go into his Aga Tower, and Solsky probably not going to be too far behind. I think he's now gotten to the point where he's done everything.
So.
And Pennyworld using that, making that good use of that hook shot by stunning the ball and chain guard and just going to task with that sword.
So blue pendant was in Skull Woods. Red crystals were Pod and Mire.
Interesting. And we see GFE is going to go straight to Catfish. He has options here. So Catfish could be something with that hook shot. He can actually go ahead and hook across and get to the Village of Outcasts if he wants to. Or you go into Pod. I like the choice not to go into Pod at this point. Pod's super easy to get back to whenever you want to, now that you have that portal. Catfish could be something. I kind of like the idea of just going across the river. Now, the blue cane only logically gives us Spike Cave eventually, which we don't have yet without a hammer. So blue cane, kind of more of a luxury item in general.
I think the prudent move at this point is to do the kind of the swing to North Dark World, North and West Dark World.
Yep.
Clear out the Village of Outcasts. All you can't get all the items, but you got a decent shot at finishing off Thieves Town.
Yeah, it is a risk. Yeah, it's a bit of a risk to go into Thieves Town and possibly leaving that big chest orphaned. And I will add that the blue cane really doesn't get us anything because we already had the cape for Spike Cave. So the one nice thing about the blue cane, though, is if they do decide to go do Thieves Town now and get into trouble with only 5 hearts, even with that red mail, you have that blue cane as a backup and kill blind quite easily with it. And
it makes the fight pretty trivial.
And we did see just 5 rupees on the bumper ledge, so we're not going to pick that up. And it looks like GFE is going to dip Skull Woods. Can't finish it, but it's a pendant, so he hopes he doesn't have to.
2 items here, and you got a decent shot of both of them being up front.
Yeah, goes ahead and picks up the 1 item, just a compass, so he can't proceed in the back. He's going to go ahead and do the middle. If the middle item is a key, he'll go use that in the front. If not, he'll probably steal the key under the pot in this middle area to go and do the rest of the front of the dungeon.
Makes sense. There is the key, so Cane of Samaria makes this very straightforward. Kern and Penny are dealing with Aga right now. Solsky's about to, so after 27 minutes, it's funny that 3 of the 4 runners have basically synced up.
Yeah, the Aga thing this seemed really interesting for the Aga play. There at no point it took a while to get the read that this was going to be an Aga seed. So, a lot of runners will rush that sort of thing to try and gain an advantage and not check all these other locations. But there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to do that. Really, the only thing that could have been skipped was the eastern area. But, if you skip that area, then you don't get a glove. And that's problematic in itself.
Right. So, GFE did the best I think, pure routing out of anybody. But, you know, it's one of those things. Ooh.
And he gets a sword. Nice.
And both items accounted for in Skull Woods. The other was a heart container, so GFE can leave with a pretty clear conscience, unless this turns out to, you know, be pedestal required. I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him go back to that area. I don't think we'll see anyone do the back of Skull Woods.
For a while, anyway.
See house with a heart container. Oh, starting to actually get some health here.
Oh, about high time. Looks like Kern is going for the pod play. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if he filled up the bottle. If you're gonna go ahead and sequence break pod right now, I like the call. You're gonna have to most likely. I mean, unless the big key is in a really nice location, there's a good chance you're gonna be clearing a lot of this, even if you're in go mode. But if you're just gonna check the first part and get bow locked right away, I like this play less. I did not see if he got a potion or not, so we'll see. You can mimic clip. Oh, and that's a tempered sword in the chess game, so sword's not going to be an issue.
No,
actually, I take it back. I take it back. Some players might skip Skull Woods, but at least getting the Master Sword will not be an issue.
Right, or tempered, because we know where the fourth sword is. It's on.
Oh, that's right. Rock. It's on Spectacle Rock, so yeah, they'll be able to route that in pretty easily.
So, but yeah, GFE also picked up an extra heart because he got a fourth heart piece out of oh boy, there's a hammer. So GFE coming up aces right now in his routing. So
yeah, hammer in Thieves Town. That's kind of a nasty one, because that's the kind of thing that keeps you out of Thieves Town. Although most runners will at least dip the first floor, so they should all get that.
So piece of heart, big key. So GFE can do 100% of Thieves Town.
And so far, we're not bow locked out of pod. Looks like Penny Royal going to be the next one into Thieves Town. Did not dip Skull Woods at all, though.
We'll have a blue sword going in, but that won't matter with blind because it's 9 hits no matter what sword you use.
Yeah, that's right. Blind being the not even no matter what sword, but whatever weapon you use.
I'd even hammer would be 9 hits, but
yeah, no one wants to use a hammer for blind if they don't have to.
No, that's true. I mean, we've all been there, but you know, but we've also done the hammer hook shot combo with Argus, and you know that's always an adventure.
Oh, that's a nasty one. Actually, the hammer hook shot it's not even that hard. It's just insanely slow.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like Penny Royal is going to skip.
Not going into Thieves Town. A little surprised he doesn't at least do the front four. He's gonna. I mean, it's the hammer he's missing. So unless he finds mitts, he's gonna be forced back there eventually. Oh, and we see Kern gonna go for the mimic clip instead of, because he did not get the did not get a potion to do a potion glitch here.
Vanilla piece of heart in the digging game. Yeah,
the piece of heart that in NMG is why one of the reasons people don't like to do hundo in this game.
It is a bit of a chore.
Yeah, the nice thing in Randomizer, thankfully, they've changed it so that you're guaranteed to get the item within the first certain number of digs. I want to say it's like 30. I'm not sure the exact number is. Not so in the regular game.
I believe that's correct. Yes, I think it's like 20. I thought it was, last I heard it was like 25 or something, but I could be wrong. But actually, 30 I think sounds better. It's I think it's 30. It's like a dig. It's like a dig per second. So we got Hype Cave.
Yeah, chat agreeing with us that it's 30. So apparently we know something, unless all of us don't know something.
Hype cave
And
is
not so
total,
great.
a
Not a great hype cave.
a total washout.
See, this is why I like to call it hype cave. It just never lives up, and hype doesn't always live up. So
No.
this one in particular, GFE finishing up with blind. Kern, having gotten his mimic clip, is going to go to the back of pod.
First crystal at 33.21. So we're on our way, but what next?
We have a long way to go. We need fire rod. We need something that'll let us get to the mire area to get that ice rod. We need a bow. We need a mirror. So a lot of things still outstanding. We need medallions, at least one, possibly two. Actually, possibly three if Ice Palace requires Bombos and the other medallions are being used for the for Mire and TR.
Right. So a lot is in play still. This might be a good time to actually make a run at hammer pegs.
Not without a mitt.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Still, that's the other big ticket item we need is the mitts.
Yeah,
I was about to add that too.
Yeah, the mitts are probably the one thing that's going to really open things up right now.
And honestly, if I'm the runners, I kind of want to find some of the other things first. Finding the mitts late just can keep you away from a lot of really not good checks that you don't want to do.
Yeah, it's restricting, but at the same time, it also kind of it keeps you from going on these wild goose chases.
Exactly. I don't think Kern got anything out of pod.
No, doesn't look like it. Another bottle, it looks like, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of another one of those luxury items. Nice to have. With the flute, you can fill it up pretty easy. Penny Royal going for one of the more difficult hovers to get over to that right side of pod, and he gets it. Very nicely done.
Indeed, that's lots of keys, but
and without a hammer, now he's just gonna have to death warp to get back to the front of the dungeon, or walk. Death warping will be faster here, even on that red mail or blue mail in his case. Those spikes will do hard damage regardless of mail anyway.
Illis24 chat says Hera is probably the play. That is true. Hera is in play. The hammer, so. But GFE going to get that flute now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the hammer doesn't open up a lot, but that is what the hammer does open.
So I would definitely say that is, and after GFE activates the flute, that might be the first thing he goes to.
Yeah, he hasn't been in pod yet, so he may do that first. Will be interesting to see. But it's one of those things. Do you do a full clearable Hera or a not full clearable, a full clearable pendant dungeon or a not full clearable crystal dungeon? Always a tough choice. Now, Hera has the added point of its being green pendant.
That's what I was going to mention, is like Sarsaparilla holding potentially the item that blows this seed open is enticing, and Hera's a pretty short dungeon unless basement required.
Okay, so let's see where everyone is going. We have Penny Royal working his way through what we think is looks like a pretty empty pod. We have Solsky going through Thieves Town. Let's see, we have GFE gonna check that powder. I like that call now since he has the hammer to do it with. Kern looks like he's headed towards Skullwoods. So none of the runners have gotten to the point where Hera is their only choice, but we collectively know from the different routes that is the only thing left.
Just $5 from the magic bat. Spike Cave, yes, Spike Cave, I guess, is technically in play.
Yeah, I'm kind of lumping everything on the mountain together that's left right now, so that's essentially 3 items from Hera plus Spike Cave, so. Yeah, we might see someone after After some of these other checks, you might see someone go up and do Hera and then do Spike Cave right afterwards. Probably want to do Hera first, just because you usually save and quit out of Spike Cave, and you won't be able to get back to Hera. And if Spike Cave is nothing, then that's an extra trip all the way around the mountain.
So Solsky makes quick work of blind. Get his first crystal at 38:30. GFE is going to Agina. I believe was the red male.
Yeah, which is rather confusing because his sprite already has... Was this backwards link? I just realized he had red mail and he gets red mail. He was red, he gets red mail, and now he's green. Like, wait a minute.
Nothing is what it appears. It's
Yeah.
all...
Oh, and Pennyworld never did bonk rocks. It's one of those things I've got, getting used to that boot start. Those bonk rocks in logic right away, which is not normal.
Yeah, that is a kind of an interesting mental adjustment for our runners to have to make, but
and I think GFE is gonna... Looks like... Yeah, he's leaving Paradox. I think he is gonna do the Hera play. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, he hasn't been to Pod yet, but for all he knows, Pod could be first item bow locked. So going to the stuff that he knows is in logic makes a lot of sense here. So we'll get our first look at Hera now. Meanwhile, Kern gonna finally... Well, he opens up these down. Gonna go in there probably after he finishes his village checks. And a mirror. Immediate payoff. And GFE says, you know what? That opens up enough stuff. I'm leaving. And I can't say... Oh, okay, indecision. Decides to go back in.
I think he realized, oh wait, green pendant, right.
Okay, looks like he's going to do the Hera pot. I like this much better with that big key showing up. Because you don't... leaving the big chest behind like that in a pendant dungeon, if it turns out that the other item is there, that's quite the... It's quite the gamble.
Yeah. Okay, so...
But the item is either in the basement or is on Moldorm.
Right. Plus green pendant.
Plus green pendant. So you're gonna do... You're gonna finish. If you... Like, here, you either leave with the mirror or you full clear. Like, that's just one of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
I can defend either position. I can't defend finding map and compass and not killing Moldorm at this point.
No. Moldorm very angry, but
yeah, unfortunately, got a poke in there so that Moldorm ended up in that enraged state. That if you do things correctly with that sword, shouldn't happen. I did not see what the item was.
It was a hard container.
Okay, so yeah, it's not a small key. I can tell that. No small key listed. So small key in the basement. Don't have to worry about that. Now let's see if he decides to do Spike Cave. You're never going to be up here in better chance to do it. So I suspect he just does it now.
First item is getting gold sword.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Actually, some people would skip this. With tempered already, the gold sword making isn't a huge difference. Does make a difference in Trinex. Does make a difference in Cold Stare. On Ganon makes a difference for players like me, less so with the better players. But it's not too much of a time loss to pick it up, so you're probably going to make up that time with those boss fights.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're on Master Sword, then yeah, for sure you would pick that up. And just a piece of heart. So mirror is going to be our next progression, and something's going to be behind that mirror. In fact, we can do swamp right now. It's a pretty cozy swamp with this item set. Gold sword, cane for a diver down. Yeah, I think that's where I'd head next, and then maybe do some of those other one-off mirror checks right afterwards.
Oh, it looks like
He's gonna turn in that green pendant first. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. And might do a pod dip while he's at it.
Solsky now also heading up to Hera, so he's gonna be happy he made that decision. We'll see if he also leaves with the mirror. Or, sorry, if he finishes it up or leaves with the mirror.
God.
Okay, Solsky gonna leave with the mirror. Unfortunately, GFE not turning in that green pendant. I really want to know what that is. Or maybe Solsky wants to get the sword before finishing up Hera. It doesn't make a huge difference in this dungeon, though. Nope, Solsky not going to do the rest of Hera. Okay. Like I said, I could defend either leaving with the mirror or finishing it out completely. I don't like that GFE is not following that mirror at this point and is instead in pod. Of course, we know there's nothing there. He doesn't know there's nothing there. More disappointed, though, that we didn't get to see the green pendant turn. I want to know what it is.
Kern finishes off blind. The crystal at 44-34.
Yeah, to point out, comment in chat, no, GFE cannot do Ice Palace yet without the mitts. He can, however, full clear Swamp, and that's where I'm kind of surprised that's not where he's going.
If he's also out of bombs, it should be noted. He just dropped his last one. Okay,
Pod has a lot of bombs, though, if you know your pots. And it looks like Solsky is going to take that mirror straight over to Swamp. I really like this play from Solsky. Especially since he did not pick up that green pendant.
Yeah, for sure. That is big. So GFE continuing the Odyssey into pod. Solsky's following the logic here and is going to make a run at Swamp, and with 6 items, this could be a bonanza for Solsky.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed over the last several months is the diver down has kind of changed the way people route Swamp a little bit. Still quite a few items left to find. It'll be interesting to see if Solsky decides to take advantage of the diver down and do the left side first, instead waiting till the end. Typically, if you're in say go mode -1, probably not going to do that because you hope you just find your item on path. But I've seen a lot more left side early plays since the diver down came out. So we'll see what these runners end up doing.
I think it's a little too early to be kind of doing that. We've got a lot of items still in play that are going to be required or could be required.
Yeah, using the diver down does speed up checking left side first, but on the other hand, is left side. You might not need to go there, so he might even just skip it altogether. He hasn't been in pod yet, for instance, and still has some items left in Hera. Meanwhile, Penny Royal going to pick up his mirror. We'll see if he decides to finish out the dungeon or leave with the mirror.
Appears so. GFE does the bomb jump. Solsky working his way through Swamp. So now we're on to the main room.
Meanwhile, Kern going to check his powder and get very disappointed from the bat.
GFE now doing Eastern, which is not done yet. Not going to find very much, unfortunately.
Nope. No, and what I really don't like about this whole series of plays from GFE is that he skipped Eastern. He gambled on Eastern not having Dark World access for him and did Aga instead. All that time that he gained by not dipping Eastern before doing Aga, he's losing right now by doing it now. We know there's no bow in here, and even with progressive bows and having 2 of them, Your odds aren't great of getting a bow in here. And he is going to have to come back. Solsky is going to do the diver down, so he does this so he can end up walking on the water, because the only actual water tile is the one where you fall. So you can pick up this pot, pick up the key. Didn't quite do the full strat. What you usually do, actually, is you want to hit the switch with a bomb, leave the room as the bomb goes off. And then when you go into the room to pick up the key the way Solsky did, it'll go off and flip the switch. He did something. I didn't see a bomb there go off when he went in there, so I missed something there.
I didn't see it either. All right, so left side, there's the big key.
And a map. So unless the big chest has something, the left side doesn't have anything. Okay, Kern gonna be the last of our runners to make his way towards Hera. Oh, and those, yeah, mitts in the big chest. So yeah, not really a surprise that we found our progression in Swamp here.
While there are many other racers among our 4 featured runners today, Solsky has just taken the lead here, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Granted, there's still quite a bit of race to be played. We still need a fire rod. We still need... He will be able to get that ice rod now, though. And we'll need whatever... We haven't seen any medallions. You still don't have access to Ice Palace unless we find a Bombos or a fire rod.
Right. So, but yeah, after this, I think Meyer would be the next. Yeah, Meyer's the next play, I'd say.
Well, if nothing else, you can get your ice rod, and you can see what your medallion requirement is. You can dip desert if you want to. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do there.
Right.
The other possibility is you could go do Dark Death Mountain. Smith's Chain becomes open.
We know where Ether Medallion is too. Incidentally, it's on Lake Hylia Island. So that's two medallions off the board. So you got a 66% chance of it being one of them. Solsky has no trouble with Argus and gets 10 arrows.
Okay, so Swamp had the mitts. The interesting question is if any of these runners choose not to do that left side first, are they going to go back in? We are starting to run thin of places to go, especially for those runners that have already dipped pod. So there's a good chance that they're going to go back in, but we'll see. And GFE also finally deciding to go to Swamp, I mean.
K45 check for Solsky.
Yeah, like this choice, because he can flute right from here to the Mire area if he wants to, or to the Death Mountain area if he wants to do Dark Death Mountain.
Could also do, looks like what he's going to do is they can do hammer pegs if he wanted, but...
yeah, like I said, the whole Smith Chain open. I kind of like the idea of doing Mire and or Dark Death Mountain just because you need that intel of what medallion you need.
And it's
Bombos. So we do need Bombos. So we need at least 2 medallions. Yeah, Bombos would double up for Ice Palace entry. And a whole lot of money. Money that doesn't really mean anything at this point. We've already paid for all our big ticket items. I guess Solsky still has to spend his 110 rupees to get into pod, but he's got 600 plus. He's fine. Even before that extra little bit. Now, Pennyworld doing the strat that I was talking about. He put the bomb on the switch. Now he's going to go do the diver down.
So,
And when he
Validation
walks in
error.
here, yeah, he's gonna walk in here, and that bomb's gonna go off. Flip the switch to the right position, grab the key, and he'll be able to finish doing the left side here.
Validation arrow in a checkerboard cave. Solsky does pick up the ice rod and is going to do a run through of at least the front of
Desert.
Desert. Yeah.
Not even boots locked. Not that it matters when we start with boots. There's no logical implications for boots here since we have them the entire time.
So yeah, if he skipped left side altogether.
Yeah, he's hoping to find his progression before going to left side. We'll see if he goes back in. He's pretty much checked just about everything, so I gotta believe he's got to go back. I mean, the only other things he'd have are a couple of one-off mirror checks, K45 and Graveyard Ledge. And K45 not too far away, Graveyard Ledge very far away, but either one would make it longer to go back into the left side of Swamp.
The second one into Argus. Oh, there's the fire rod.
Is that Solsky that just got that?
Yeah, in Desert.
Nice. Also note that he got the Quake Medallion. We got the Quake Medallion in Swamp, so still don't know if we need that yet. It's also going to take that fire rod and go straight to Ice Palace with it. I like that call.
Makes sense. I mean, it's complete. It's 100% completable now, so do it.
Yep, he's got all the good items for. He's got the cane for the icebreaker. Meanwhile, everybody else in Swamp. So at this point, we are Bow, Bombos, and potentially an Ether Medallion. Well, we know where the Ether is. So Bow and Bombos for a collective no mode. We do need to know what TR needs. But it's either going to be that Bombos, the Ether that we know where it is, or the Quake that we already have.
In terms of the unknown items, yeah, we are in a Bow Bombos endgame.
Yep. Which are not the greatest items to be searching for, because a bow just doesn't lock that much. Now, granted, there are 2 bows out there, but one might be in GT and might not be accessible. Trying to find Bombos when Fire Rod is required, Fire Rod is available, can be just about anywhere except inside the dungeon it locks. So, and of course GT. So, lots of possibilities for these items. Not quite the Ice Rod hunt, but pretty darn close.
It's like Penny Royal is gonna go for looks gonna get the Ether Medallion. Good idea.
Yeah, getting that. He's thinking that if Meyer or TR, he goes up there, is Ether, he'll have it to open it up at least. Let's see if he goes to Meyer. Yeah, looks like a Meyer play. The other reason why to check Meyer before Dark Death Mountain into Turtle Rock is because if you do have the medallion, which unfortunately we don't, you can actually go ahead and go full clear it. Whereas TR, we don't have a fire rod. Well, only Solsky has a fire rod. The rest of them don't. So you want to check that. Going into Turtle Rock without a fire rod could gate you really quick or could get you on a wild goose chase.
So Solsky continuing.
Making very quick work of Ice Palace.
Yeah.
I have not seen. I've not seen if he picked up anything, but I'm not seeing anything new on our tracker. By the way, shout outs to Vel and Oddballs for doing our tracking. Oddwalls for doing our tracking. Clicking the buttons behind the scenes, doing the hard work. While we get to just talk.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yeah, there was a hard piece. I did see that much. That was in the icebreaker room.
So Solsky is going to go ahead and check Iced Tea here. Because he's hit the switch, it is going to be he will have to go the long way around. Okay, Pennyworld going to check Desert, so he'll be happy to get his Fire Rod. GFE picking up his Ether, and he's going to head over to the Mire area.
So,
are we finally going to see that green pendant turn in? I really want to know what this is.
bet it's the bow.
Honestly, I bet it's nothing. I bet the bow's in Turtle Rock.
Of course
we see that all the time.
Yep.
And a piece of heart.
Just old man love.
Yeah, so Solsky made the right choice, leaving Hera when he did. Everybody else full cleared it, so...
Very quick fight on Cold Stare.
Yeah, with Gold Sword, not a problem. And gets the small key, which, just for what it's worth, does mean that Ice Palace is cane locked, but that very rarely comes into play on anything.
So 59 minutes flat on crystal number 3 for Solsky. Up a full crystal on everybody else, and can do some serious damage still. We're still looking for that bow, though. That's the... If Ether turns out to be required for Turtle Rock, this could put Solsky at a slight disadvantage.
I like that he's going to Turtle Rock. I don't like that he's going there without the Ether.
Does he know? Did he check Lake Hylia Island?
He might not have.
That's... Could Bo be on Ped?
Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely could be. Now, the odds of there being a bow on Ped and no other bow available, don't see that very often, but it could be. Bow needed for Eastern and Pod, but those are not penned in dungeons, so yeah, absolutely, it could be a bow on Ped. And actually, to be fair, since with the progressive bows now, bow can always be on Ped, even if those dungeons are pendants, because it could be your logical second bow.
So...
Another bottle. And 300 rupees. And you know, finding those bottles when they have bees in it, it's just kind of a kick in the teeth. Like it's great to have a bottle for a little extra safety, but then you have to actually fill it, and you don't even get something good to work with.
The second item turned out to be $5 in it is Ether, so Solsky.
Solsky. It's going to be a bit of a time loss having to go back and get that Ether. But he is going to check Hookshot Cave here. Maybe he'll get something good here.
You get Bombos.
Bombos or a bow. That's what we need. There's that Bombos. Kind of the reverse of the key behind the doorstep. We talk. Oh, and there's the bow. Oh my god. Solsky, if you had just gone and gotten your Ether. Like, I hope he saw it, because if not, then it might be a while before he gets back there.
Yeah, no kidding.
See where he goes next. Okay, looks like he's going to go do Pod Eastern. I mean, we're not going to know for sure whether or not he saw that Ether until he clears Pod Eastern here, clears Mire, and then we'll see if he... Actually, we'll be able to tell, because if he knows... he hasn't been in Pod yet, so if he's go-moding Pod, we'll know he knows the Ethers, where it is. Same thing with Mire.
Doesn't. Foo boy. This could get interesting.
I mean, it's not the worst location ever, but it's also one that's pretty easy to forget if you don't check it early. And Solsky, a veteran of the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer, in that game, that Lake Hylia Island is literally the first check in 99% of runs, because you go into Link to the Past through the fortune teller, and you're right there. So you jump into the water, you see you see what that item is, and you know you need it or you don't need it. So very easy item for him to forget if he hasn't already checked it.
Kern and GFE both opening Turtle Rock up. They're going to turn around and take care of Hookshot Cave, and they will be in go mode.
Yeah, Kern just going to go into TR. Little unfortunate, but TR really not a great go mode dungeon anyway. So he may lose a little bit of time because he'll check Mimic Cave and he won't steal the key, for instance. But it's not going to be a huge time loss as compared to certain other dungeons that, like Ice Palace go versus not go, Swamp Palace go versus not go are much more significant.
Tracy with the deep insight of the mind of SMZ3R racers. Well,
my main game is Super Metroid, so I know a little bit about that.
Well, GFE also kind of following suit here with Solsky, and is making a run at Pod, and it looks like Solsky is hundoing.
Well, he still has to find the. Yeah, I did not see where the big key is, so he does need to at least find the big key.
Right, that's true.
So if he finds the big key and checks the big chest, for instance, then we'll know he doesn't know where that ether is. Apparently, okay, so chat with the knowledge. Apparently, big key was in the harmless hellway. So we'll see if he goes to the dark maze after that. You also notice Penny Whirl here in Ice Palace decided not to hit the switch, which is really nice when you end up having to go to the Ice Tea room, since you don't have to fall down and come back up. Still kind of undecided which way is better in general, unless you're in go mode. And if you're in go mode, you want to hit the switch because you don't want to be searching for that big key.
Penny Royal just about finished here with Ice Palace. Solsky continuing the gauntlet through Pod got his 4th bottle.
He's about to get the big key, and now this will be the moment of truth. Does he mirror to go finish the dungeon, or does he go check the left side? And he's going towards the left side. He does not know that ether is there.
So 105.37 for Penny Roll. That's crystal number 3. Yeah, Fee is on his way to taking on Helmasaur King. Kern about halfway through Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, GFV actually our only runner actually in go mode. Both Kern and Penny Royal going to get there very shortly. Kern deciding to do the Turtle Rock before checking the Hookshot Cave. We'll see what Penny Royal does, but I can't imagine either one of them would skip that Hookshot Cave after doing Turtle Rock.
I wouldn't think. 17 hammer strikes to break Helmasaur King's mask. Pretty straightforward setup. Solsky now heading towards Helmasaur King. Strikes from the gold sword, takes care of it. Crystal number 3 at 106.57.
Okay, Penny Royal gonna go ahead and open up TR. We'll see if he goes in or if he does Hookshot Cave first.
So GFE now in Eastern, again, did pretty much everything except the stuff that's bow required, so I'm going to take care of that.
Yep. Okay, Penny Royal gonna check Super Bunny, and then check probably going to check Hookshot Cave as well. We'll see if he decides to go into Turtle Rock now or decides to finish it at the end. Really, it doesn't make a huge difference if you're in go mode and you're already in the mountain, whether you do Turtle Rock right then and there or wait and do it after you've done the other dungeons, because either way, you're going to have to do an extra mountain climb because you're going to have to get back up to GT. See if Laser Bridge has anything for us besides the small key. Heart container.
A little bit of love.
And a map. I don't think we had anything there.
Yeah. Solsky finishes off Helmasaur King.
We'll see where he heads next. Well, actually, right now he'll head to Eastern. For sure. Yeah. And then Meyer, and then we get the search.
That's 4 crystals for Solsky, so he is technically in the lead as far as the count goes, but with GFE in go mode, he's going to be able to barrel through the last 3 crystal dungeons, Ice Palace, Meyer, and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate for Solsky. He's going to have to check everything in Eastern. Meyer, he's not going to be... Oh, he's already checked parts of Eastern, but he's going to have to check everything in Meyer. And after that, he's going to have a choice to make. And he might think that something like the Smith chain might have a better shot at getting him his ether. Because there's more items in that chain than checking the Lake Hylia Island.
That's 109.21 for GFE. That's 4 crystals with the big 3 still remaining: Ice, Meyer, and TR.
Yeah, Ice he's going to make very quick work of with the Icebreaker. Actually, even without the Icebreaker, with the bomb jump, that's still a very quick dungeon if you're go moding. Meyer will depend on big key location. He's already been through most of Eastern and most of Pod, if I'm not mistaken, and so those will be very quick as well. So he's going to get his go mode right here in the Hookshot Cave. Meanwhile, Pennyworld decides he is going to do Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah,
if you're here, you might as well just do it.
Yeah, Kern got his 3rd crystal off of that. It's kind of like, well, and to point out something you said earlier, is like, go mode or no go mode, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's still kind of a time sink as far as dungeons go, and with 5 items in play,
the big thing is, the biggest things, you don't have to check Mimic Cave if you're in go mode, and what Penny Royal is going to do right here, he'll steal this key instead of going and checking the lava chest, which has a small but non-zero chance of biting you. Having seen that there is a key on Laser Bridge, it's not going to happen here.
Right.
What can happen is if the last 2 small keys are in the lava chest and in the big chest, and you steal this key and skip the big chest, then you do have to go back and get the big chest key. But not going to happen here. Meanwhile, Kern, the first one into Misery Mire, is also going to be right behind him. But you're going to see the difference here. Kern potentially will be able to just, if the big key is in a really good location, he's going to be able to go through this very quickly. Solsky's going to have to full clear it.
Yeah, if it's not left side, this is going to be very quick indeed. So.
And so far, just a small key.
A lot of keys early, so if nothing else, the doors to the dungeon will be opening up for...
Yeah, Meyer in Interesting Dungeon has got 3 small keys in chests, and you don't actually need any of them.
Right.
And we've seen 2 of the small keys in chests.
Yeah, Meyer is definitely one of those dungeons, when you're playing it for the first time, it seems more overwhelming than it actually turns out to be.
Oh yeah, it's huge when you're playing it for the first time, because there are a ton of different places.
Very quick 1, 2, 3 fight for GFE. taking care of business and gets crystal number 5 at 112.43.
Okay, Curran gonna go ahead and skip the cutscene chest for now, hoping that's not his big key.
Our choices, but not too many.
Okay, only one more place that big key can be to allow him to avoid that. Meanwhile, Pennyworld going into his try next fight.
Illogical in chat actually earlier brought up a good point. Like, if you regarding Solsky's situation, like, you haven't checked Hylia, you've probably written it off. That's not necessarily. I'd probably agree with that, actually.
Yeah, there's a really good chance that he might not get back to that for a while.
And big key acquired, so no cutscene needed. Pennyroyal finishes off Trinex.
Very nicely done, getting that double sword spin into a 1/.
Solsky is doing the cutscene.
Which makes more sense for him, because he wants to full clear this. He does get the item, at least. Even though it's not an item he's looking for.
114.02 for Pennyroyal. That's 4 crystals.
Yep, so everybody else in go mode. Solsky's still looking for that ether medallion. Everyone in a different... Well, we got two runners in Mire, 3 runners in Mire, and Pennyworld heading over to Pod Eastern.
The double...
And Solsky, having only gotten 1 item, is going to check the big chest. We don't yet know whether this will be the second item, or whether it will be on Vidi.
So, yeah, so this will be crystals 5 and 6 for Pennyroyal. Current underway with Vitreous.
Using NMG strats there. Solsky did get the second heart container in the big chest. Very nice, nicely done by Curran there.
And gets crystal at 115.28. That's number 4 for him.
Yep, he just needs to go to ice quick, and that's like I said, very quick dungeon at this point. Pod Eastern should be very quick for him. Whereas GFE still has to go back and do Turtle Rock. So it's interesting. Yeah, Turtle Rock, a longer dungeon, but I'd say GFE's still a little bit ahead, since he only has to do the 1 once he finishes Mire here. But it's hard to say for sure. Pennyworld a little bit further behind the other runners, and of course Solsky still looking for that ether medallion. Okay, so the question about why did Penny and Curran go to Turtle Rock before the other crystals? I said earlier that basically when you're already up on the mountain, the difference between going to Turtle Rock right then and there as opposed to coming back later is pretty minimal. Either way, the dungeon's going to go the same way. The choice comes down to, are you comfortable with your item set, and personal preference, because you're going to go mode all the dungeons anyway. And so yeah, they just, two of them decided to go to TR, and one of them decided not to. Either way, you're going to have to climb back up the mountain, so it doesn't really change much which one you do first.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you're in the neighborhood, you might as well. Now,
in the case of Kern, he did Turtle Rock before he even did Hookshot Cave, so he wasn't in go mode when he went through TR. So for him, there definitely was a reason to do it first. Just didn't want to do Hookshot Cave right away. Was hoping to get his items in TR. Unfortunately for him, he didn't, but was able to get to Hookshot Cave right afterwards and get into go mode. So he lost a
goes-
little bit of time full clearing TR, but TR not a great go mode dungeon anyway, so he didn't lose that much time.
That's 6 crystals now for GFE, having taken care of Vitreous. Penny Royal got crystal number 5 off of
Okay.
Pod. Now doing East.
Solsky is doing the play. He's gonna get that ether now. Interesting, he went there right away after.
Yeah.
It could very well be like we'll have to ask him if he comes in for an interview. It's entirely possible he did see it there and just forgot. Like I'd have to go back and look to see if he actually peeked it in the first place. That does happen. And then he might have realized at that point that, oh wait, I did see ether. It was on Lake Hylia Island.
Where it's like, oh, did I not like? Oh.
No, I think it's possible he just decided that was the time to check it. But it's also it wouldn't surprise me if he just forgot.
It happens, yeah. It's like we've all had those mental lapses.
Oh, we sure have.
You're trying to juggle so many bits of information, and the one thing that for me and when I've done randomizers is you're trying to think 3 to 4 steps ahead, and sometimes you go like 7 or 8 steps and you completely brick in terms of your mindset. It's a strange thing, like you over strategize.
Okay, so Solsky gonna go ahead and go into Turtle Rock, and he is in go mode now. So he's only a little bit behind GFE here.
That's kind of amazing, given how it all turned out. They are about, I'd say, 30-35 seconds apart right now.
Yeah, very close race between GFE and Solsky.
Item-wise, they're virtually identical.
Yeah, Penny Royal getting a nice quick kill on the Armos Knights. It's like Curran's gonna head over and do his Pod Eastern play as well.
So it's all players have 6 crystals except for Kern. Kern has 5, but Kern still has the double to play, so not going to be that. It's going to be interesting to see what their times are after 7 crystals. But a high 5 there from Solsky and GFE.
Yeah, we actually, in a way, we have 2 interesting races going on. We have GFE versus Solsky. GFE just a little bit ahead in Turtle Rock, both go moding the dungeon. We have Penny Royal versus Kern. Penny Royal about to go into Mire. Kern going into finishing up Pod, and we'll have to also do Eastern. So those 2 are really close.
Yeah, this in terms of picking the 4 players for featured, right on the button with this one. Got some very close races, and what's interesting is how they've all kind of diverged in many ways, but here we are. Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even just say that the routes were not the same. We saw some very different routing from all 4 of our runners, which I tend to enjoy. I'm not a fan of C's just gate you to the same place every time. They did all get gated into AGA, and no one, I shouldn't say no one, we didn't see a whole lot of gambling on AGA early. We did see, I want to say it was GFE that skipped Eastern before heading to AGA. But yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of, no one did the, well, and AGA, to be fair, this AGA seed did not project itself as an AGA seed. Like we, 10, 15 minutes in, we had a glove and no sword, and no lamp. So I don't think anyone was thinking AGA at the beginning of this one.
No. So it certainly didn't lend itself in terms of characteristics to that kind of thing, but yeah. So GFE looks like he's still about 3 or 4 rooms ahead right now. He's headed down to B2.
Now, we'll have to get that key off the laser bridge, but we'll just be able to pick up that key. I want to say it was on the first 2 chests, so he doesn't have to do a whole lot there.
second one.
And since we are getting close, I'll start mentioning it now. Not gonna have a whole lot of time between when GFE finishes up Trinex and gets into Ganon's Tower, so you might want to, so start thinking about those guesses. I don't think we have the bot, but go ahead and start thinking about those guesses for that GT Big Key. Well, it looks like GFE will be the first one in, so we'll most likely be following him throughout the tower.
Gold sword, this should be a very quick fight.
Yeah, gold sword's really nice on Trinex.
Yeah, virtually guaranteed one cycle. Had a little off on his timing, but still pulls it out.
All right, and there he picks up that heart container and the 7th crystal, and we will be heading towards Ganon Tower, where there are 22 locations where the Ganon's Tower Big Key is. We don't have the bot, but go ahead and get your guesses in chat for where that key is going to be.
I went 9. You know, why not?
I always go 5 because it's nice and early, and I've won with 5 before, or I've been right with 5 before.
I think the few times I've won, I've been like 12 or something. So there it is for Solski's 32 seconds behind right now. See how they decide to go about their routing here.
All right, looks like GFE may be going for the Dark Magician strat. Skips the arrows on the torch. No surprise there.
That's item number 1 for GFE.
Number 2 is a small key. Number 3 is a small key.
That's like a trend
Number 4
here.
is arrows. Number 5, 20 rupees. Mirrors out, gonna go to the right side. Probably not gonna follow the full Dark Magician strat because most people will mirror out after the compass room, but we'll see.
Here's silvers.
Nice pickup. Gold sword silvers Ganon will not be a problem today. Everyone will get those silvers.
Thing. So
Runs
that's
right through
7
tile room.
7 so far for GFE. Those of you playing along at home.
Looks like Solski gonna take the same route.
He having a little trouble there, but finally pulls it out.
Okay, number 8 is rupees. 9 is rupees. 10 is rupees. And 11, big key at number 11 in the compass room. And GFU just gonna mirror out with those 2. Has the 2 small keys and the big key he needs to go up the tower.
Okay, so Uninformed Pleb and Andy Montana both correctly guessed 11.
Congratulations, you win bragging rights.
Hey, those are the best kind of rights to have.
Oh, an interesting Solski checking tile room. This is quite the gamble. Gonna lose a lot of time here with it because it's not gonna be here, as we all know.
This is going to cause a little bit of rage afterwards.
Nah, he only has himself to blame. I mean, if you know your key logic and you've gone all the way through the left side, you can sometimes kind of guess when it's going to be tile room, but we haven't seen enough of the dungeon to make that guess now. So really surprised that he went ahead and checked it. Meanwhile, GFE about to hit the gauntlet as Kern entering Ganon's Tower, Pennyroyal opening Ganon's Tower. So we're going to have all 4 of our runners in Ganon's Tower at the same time. So pretty cool.
Yeah, as you said before, Kern and Pennyroyal are within seconds of each other, practically.
Right, with Silver's GFE should misses the shots, unfortunately. But with Gold Sword, he'll be able to clean it up, and he'll be able to use Silver's here as well.
The lag has been a bit of a
Yeah.
bother there.
Yeah, those land molars, lag and land molars just kind of go together.
Yeah. Looking at Pennyroyal's screen, completed every dungeon on the board except Skull Woods, which we already knew was never going to happen, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's Skullwood. He missed out on his Gold Sword for not doing Skullwoods. That makes a huge difference at this point. It's just a nice thing to have in general. Although some runners actually feel like it causes a little extra lag and they don't like it. I don't think anyone's going to complain about a Tempered Sword Silver setup. Unfortunately, Pennyroyal looks like he's going to bet on the left side and not going to get to at Big Key for a while. Ironically, Curran also. So our 2 runners that did Turtle Rock, that didn't finish up with Turtle Rock, and our 2 runners that did are taking opposite Big Key paths, or taking each taking the same Big Key. Oh, and those are our boots. So that that 20. The green 20 we saw in Random Room, yeah, those are the representative of the boots item. And Solsky making quick work at the land mall is very nicely done.
Very clean fight. Down goes Troll Dorm.
Yeah, GFE not even checking anything. There's really nothing at this point he could possibly want to make this fight easier.
Yeah, everything's accounted for as far as items. Here we go.
All right, GFE in the Aga 2 fight.
Got a kind of an awkward setup there. This should be a pretty clean one, and that's a triple, and that finishes off Aga 2.
And Kern realizing he has to go now to the right side. We'll get his big key shortly. And GFE into the Ganon fight. Tolsky going for the hover. And gets it.
Oh. We must have our swag. Kern. It's the terrible truth. Phase 2 down for GFE, just 6 strikes per cycle with the gold sword. GFE getting a pretty cooperative Ganon so far in Phase 3. No bouncing around.
And gets the early silver shot. See if he can, doesn't quit Torch Glitch, but doesn't matter here, not with this loadout.
now.
He's gonna get a triple. Oh, almost got the triple, but it doesn't matter. Gets a shot off right there.
Wasn't quite centered that time,
Yeah.
but no matter. So get out your GGs. GFE is going to be our featured winner today.
So GFE finishing, gonna cross that bridge and finish in 5th place with an official time of 1:32.54. Ahead of him are Relkin at 1:29.33, Banta at 1:29.50, Zero Rush at 1:32 flat, and Ray 07 at 1:32.07. Solsky, meanwhile, dropping into his Ganon fight.
I think in the case of GFE and Solsky, tile room.
Tile room made a huge difference there. And keep in mind, it's not even just about what place you finish. It's all about what time you get compared to the top 3 average. So that tile room's going to cost Solsky a little bit. Not going to be too bad.
We are welcome. We are joined by our featured winner of today's qualifier, GFE. Welcome, GG.
Hey, thanks for the GG.
Yeah, nicely done. So what'd you think? And just going to interrupt you, a very nice triple to finish off Ganon from Solsky. And he is going to go ahead and cross that bridge, finishing up in 6th place, right behind you, with an official time of 1:34.18. Oh, go ahead.
GG's to Solsky. I felt pretty good about the seed overall. The only thing that I regret, and it was a complete accident, was after I got that mirror early in Hera, my brain was already thinking, after I'm up here, I'm gonna go do Eastern Pod. And it wasn't until I was opening the door of Pod that my brain said, why didn't I go to Swamp? That's
okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, you're the only one. You had that advantage of having skipped Eastern in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Before Aga, and you kind of gave that advantage away by going there at that time. Didn't cost you too much. Still a very nice finish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I quite would have gotten the first place time, but like I said, when I realized it, I was opening the door, and at that point, I'm like, I'm already here. There could be a bow here, and I would last location it, so let's just do it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Solsky also joining us. GG, Solsky.
Hey, thanks.
So I got a question for you. Did you peek the ether and forget about where it was, or were you actually actively looking for it?
I did see it, didn't I?
Well, because we were wondering, because you should have been go mode if you knew where it was, and you kept checking other locations. So
I haven't played the game in like months. I gotta warm up, right?
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Is that why we saw Tile Room as well?
I was just baffled. I honestly cannot believe how slow the competition has gotten since I've been gone, right? Like, I thought they would have been done like minutes ago, but I was like, it's got to be bad GT. So either right side or GT Tile Room, and Tile Room lost.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I passed Solsky with GT routing.
No, you were actually you were still a little bit ahead.
Okay.
You were 30 seconds ahead going into GT.
What would I've had? I would have had Pod, TR, well, TR obviously, but Pod, Meyer, Ice. Well, I did Ice before. So
you did Ice before.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I went to the mountain first, and as I was climbing, I was thinking I probably should have done Ice first, but there's more checks up here, so.
Yeah.
The biggies were all in bad spots too, so it's not like it really did much in the race, honestly.
Yeah, Pod Big Key was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was not the most go-modable pod, and Meyer.
I mean, big keys were bad. Yeah,
Meyer could have been worse. It wasn't. I mean, you did cutscene before you got the key, but yeah, I mean,
I would have saved time on Eastern if I hadn't dipped it before Swamp.
it's one of those things. It's all a lot of those calculated risks, but yeah, you never can tell sometimes. We've got a bit of a race going on between Pennyroyal
we
and
do.
Kern. They're
Did
one phase apart
anyone
right now.
did anyone dip out of swamp before the mints?
I want to. Somebody, Solsky, was it you? Somebody did it. No, you did it ahead of time. Most people went left side first, which I've seen a lot more of with the diver down strats.
Yeah, I went left
But
first.
there was I forget who, but somebody went after. But everybody got their mitts, so nobody left them. But at that point, there wasn't like. I think at
No.
that point, your other checks were K45 and Graveyard Ledge, so it
We
made a
got
lot of
Yeah.
sense to go back in if.
Since I stupidly went to Pod Eastern before
Yeah.
Swamp after getting Mirror, that made the decision easy to go back in. But I feel like there's probably some people out there that might have made the skipped Pod Eastern that long and then left those mints.
And let's go ahead and shout out Kern and Pennyroyal. Kern finishing up 14th at 138.29, and Pennyroyal finishing up in 15th, right behind at 138.33. With JP, Brewers fan JP finishing 8th at 135.37. Ack the Boker finishing 8th at 130. I guess, okay. JP at 7th. Ack the Boker 8th at 135.37. Ninban 9th, 135.46. T-Stu 10th at 135.51. Dante at 11th at 136.52. Scrub Casual 12th at 137.41. And 2C 13th at 138.01. I think we've got all 4 of our restream runners here today at this point, Pennyroyal and Curran. GG's to you.
GG's.
And
Thanks.
with
GG.
all of you here,
These guys.
how about that Aga chase? Like, that seed was not projecting Aga at all. And then suddenly it was Aga.
I was very convinced I was going to find a lamp at like Zora, and that was going to take me up the mountain. No such luck.
Now, why would the seed do that?
Speaking of Zora, did anyone avoid double dipping Zora area?
No, I thought about it
Same.
almost every single time that it comes up. I will save a boots walk if I have the moon pearl, go into the cave and then just see what's on the ledge and then come back. Because this was a qualifier and every second counts, I didn't do that this time and I regretted it.
The one time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always that one time.
Yep. This is a cool seed though. I liked it. Like, if this was how all rando was, I would play more blind rando, but other than the big key in GT, I liked the fact that it wasn't very linear. I thought that was cool.
Well, yeah,
I liked the big key in GT.
Yeah, we had 2 Dark Magician routers and 2 not. So you could tell who would like it and who wouldn't. So.
Yeah, I think this is the second qualifier I've done where it paid out, which is not the norm. I feel like most of the time it doesn't pay out.
It was interesting that there was quite a bit of route divergence with the final 5 crystals or so. Everyone kind of went their own way and, played to their, I think, preferences, which we appreciated. The first 3 crystals were pretty much the same, and then it opened up, and there was a lot of difference in terms of who did what next and so on. But to see everything still kind of come pretty close together was pretty neat.
Yeah, there were points where you guys kind of got gated to Aga, and then you got gated to Mir in Hera, and into Swamp, and then the rest of it was kind of all over the place, which is really fun to see. See all that different routing.
I'm just real glad that I didn't get baited into clearing Skull Woods and blind pulling the pedestal, because I was real close to choosing to do that. Like, real close.
Oh, good thing, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that Fire Rod trolling. If people didn't have to mirror for Ice Rod, I figure more people would have skipped it longer.
Oh yeah,
That's
totally.
a good point.
So I guess both rods were right there at Desert. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like Ted is arrows anyway.
Desert holding a lot of good stuff. You had those 2 plus a male progression in Agina's cave.
which is always a nice little luxury item.
Also, did anyone else almost soft reset out or hard reset out of the gloves? Because I almost pressed that button.
My finger was on the
Ooh.
button, but
Oh, that would have been
Like,
bad.
nope.
I mean, you go back and get them, but yeah, that still
Oh.
would have been bad.
so I
What?
was reading and in spoilers after the race, and I think some people got the swamp glove first, which is just crazy.
What the
I can see
hell?
that. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, if you think
I mean,
about
if you
it,
don't go to Saha,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I had the powder when I grabbed the mushroom, so there wasn't even a question of resetting for me.
I rushed Saha right off the bat. I had the
Oh,
glove in like a minute.
Yo, same, except I dove Eastern after Saha.
Yeah, I went to Aga before the Eastern dive, and that's actually what drove me to go to Hera sooner. Is I was like, I do not want to find out that Aga wasn't required, so I'm just gonna keep going with this and go
Yep.
to Hera.
All right. So, let's see. If I'm not mistaken, a couple of you are working on your fourth qualifiers. A couple of you on your first qualifiers. I know Solsky, this is your first. We had a little fun with you with with your comment of what is the mode, but looks like you figured it out okay.
You guys all said it was casual boots and it was open boots. Like what? Everyone memed on me. I was like, okay, I guess it's casual boots. And then
I
I'm
run
like,
stuff,
pick the
but-
house. Okay.
yeah. Well, I
Blame
run
Mac.
stuff, but I don't run anything in Link to the Past, so it's not my call, not my decision. So
Yeah, I was confused by that too. I went like outside the door expecting to have to dash through bushes, so I wasn't sure actually what mode it was. But I probably should have known by that point because like the uncle gets up. It's been a couple months since I've played too, like Solsky.
Mhm.
In fact, it's been longer than that since I played the game with my eyes open. That's like the last time I played the game with my eyes closed.
How about those
Well,
boots?
I've had
Turn?
enough with my eyes open, let alone eyes closed.
At least you knew you had boots.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I actually there was a few times where I was like in Torch 1 in Ganon's Tower, I started doing blindfold strat. Like I just didn't remember how to play the game at all. It was so sloppy.
Uh,
I was like
Alright.
halfway through that torch and I was like, wait a minute, that's the blindfold strat I'm doing right now. Oops.
wow.
Yeah, for me it was kind of had work travel, right? So I just got back a couple days ago, and I gotta pretty much play every qualifier, so it's great.
Yep. Yeah, still enough coming up, so you got
Yup.
time.
Yeah, and
so-
luckily they're all like Eastern friendly, so
Yeah,
is
you
good.
Eastern time zone people. Although I can't complain being only in the Central time zone.
yeah, it's not that bad.
Any last thoughts from any of you before we go ahead and close things out?
Just thank y'all for the restream. Thanks to you two for commentating, and to looks like Velity and I don't see.
Oddwall. Yeah, Oddwalls.
Okay, thanks
For our
to both of
trackers.
them for the tracking, and everyone in the Speed Gaming crew. Thanks to Synac the bot for all he does as well.
Thanks, and shout out to the other three in the race because it looks like we had two really good races uniquely. So it seems like it was probably pretty.
Yeah, it was a good
entertaining.
one. It was a good one. We had a little bit of cross action going with the way things were worked out at the end.
Absolutely. But yeah, do give our runners a follow if you haven't already. And be sure to give myself, Pro807, my co-com, Tracy M, follows as well if you'd like.
And our trackers.
And our trackers, Oddwalls and Velity92.
They do the hard work. This isn't hard. They do the hard
Yeah.
work.
They did a great job keeping everything straight, and especially with the route divergences that we had, particularly late, they did a great job keeping everything together. So, well, thanks all. I enjoyed this. It was a really good time, and we got a few more qualifiers coming up in the next few days, and may they be as entertaining as this one was.
Yep. And yeah, so go ahead and let you all know when those qualifiers are, just in case you want to either play or watch. Still open. Tomorrow is the next one at 8:20 a.m., bright and early in the morning. Then the next one also on Sunday at 6:20 p.m., again, all times Eastern. Monday, there's one at 7:20 p.m. Tuesday, we have a 2:20 p.m. And Wednesday, we have a 9:20 p.m. race. Again, all those times Eastern. Please do come, play, watch, whatever. A lot of fun doing all this, and hope you all have enjoyed it. Also, big thanks to Proa for joining me on commentary. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time. I really enjoyed this. It's been a while since I've done a Link to the Past commentary in any capacity, but I enjoyed this.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I want to shout out something near and dear to my heart. We got this tonight. We got the fourth qualifier, first race of the Super Metroid 100% tournament coming up. That'll be at 9 p.m. I should check this. Not sure the SpeedGaming channel. Let me check that real quick. And another one, the second half of that qualifier at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Those will be both on SpeedGaming too, so hope you tune in for those. Otherwise, again, thank you to Proa, thank you to our trackers, Oddwalls and Velity. Thank you to SpeedGaming and everyone involved in SpeedGaming for doing all the work they do. Sinek, what does Sinek not do?
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for us, and we'll see y'all next time.
I'll do a quick shout out for my community. The SM Mario 3 Randomizer weekly race is on at 9 p.m. Eastern on SG4, so keep an eye out for that as well. So thanks all for watching, and have a great day.